So in Cambridgeshire and Peterborough, our time is now. I'm ambitious for our region. I want to create and develop the fastest growing economy of anywhere in the UK, and that's what my growth plan envisages. Now, I'm in Peterborough, my city Peterborough, and we are not going to grow as fast as we can unless the great potential of Peterborough is unleashed. Peterborough is the biggest city in our region. It's a grain of sand that can turn into a pearl. It's got a fantastic location. It's on the east-west main line. It's on the A1. It's got some great companies here. It's got a great past and it's got a great future too. And I'm with Martin from PRD, and we're working together, aren't we, to develop this plan for Peterborough and what that might mean. So, Martin, do you want to outline some of the things that we've been doing together?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for coming along today. I think today's the first anniversary of you being elected, so interested to explore.
Oh my goodness,
yes. So interested to explore kind of how much progress we've made in the last 12 months. We've been working alongside the CPCA, Homes England, and the City Council for about over a year now. Initially kind of doing some baselining of how the city centre was performing and where the kind of opportunities existed. And I think what was really clear from that piece of work that there's huge potential here. What came out on the back of that is the CPCA's local growth plan, which is kind of very ambitious about kind of growth. So we've been working alongside all those organisations to really build on that kind of sort of alignment and that ambition, and sort of chart this kind of sort of really exciting sort of future for Peterborough and the city centre.
So the vision for Peterborough City Centre, there are parts of Peterborough City Centre like North Westgate. There's been a plan to regenerate that since I was at school. And, I'm 47 now, so they've had 30 years to do that. So I think it's time we got going. But I think our time is now. As I say, we've got the MPs on board, we've got the City Council on board, we've got myself as Mayor on board. I think there's some genuine excitement about Peterborough. It used to be a great place for nightlife, a great place for events. Queensgate was just about the first shopping centre in the country. It used to be great for retail. We need to recapture that, don't we?
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to build upon that really strong political alignment. I mean, I think in our line of work, that's quite rare. So seeing that everybody is coalescing around this shared ambition for the city centre and wanting to participate in the growth board, wanting to pool their resources, seeing the likes of Homes England through your strategic partnership with them engaged and wanting to put money and funding into it, kind of really kind of highlights how important an opportunity and moment this is for the city centre, and how important Peterborough is nationally for the UK economy. So we've got an opportunity to really kind of drive that forward, and we're putting the right kind of frameworks in place alongside, working alongside you guys to make that happen.
I just think the city is so central to the government's plan for economic growth. And I was always told that lobbying 101 is to show how the government can achieve their objectives by doing what you want them to do. So if they want to build new homes, they want economic growth, Peterborough is so closely aligned for that. Just 45 minutes from London. Its location is a great advantage. And as you say, that alignment, although we've got a Labour government, I'm a Conservative mayor, I think we share that vision, and working with our local MPs, I think certainty is what investors want.
Absolutely. And I think shining a light on that kind of political alignment and that kind of shared ambition is really important. I see from the development investor market, that is, they will look at that. They will be interested in kind of where the politics are, where the kind of policy base is, kind of where the funding's coming in. And when we look at sort of strategic places across the UK, we look at all of those things like connectivity. I think Peterborough's got a lot of those kind of raw ingredients to kind of to make it kind of really thrive. So the connectivity, the investment that's going in around the station at the moment, so the levelling up funding will be a new gateway to the city. It's really significant. The success of Anglia Ruskin University and their expansion plans. So there's a lot happening here, and I think this is about kind of using this political alignment, this ambition as a springboard for what we do next. But our view is that working alongside, we have to put that kind of framework in place to try and move this forward and start to engage the market. And I think that will give the market confidence that there is some substance to this and that they will want to get engaged with it.
So we've talked a little bit about the alignment. We've talked a little bit about vision. We'll just go on to that again in a minute. But we should also talk about delivery. So let's just deal with vision for a second. So what I think is really important is that Peterborough uses this river. It's one of the only cities, I think, in the country that's not used its river, and perhaps the way some other cities have. The city centre's focus is a little bit further away. But I think the river has got huge potential for homes, got huge potential for a nightlife economy. And tell us a little bit about the master plan that you're putting together.
So at UK Reef this year, I think collectively we want to launch a development framework which will be a sort of spatial articulation of everything that the city has and the potential that the city has. At the moment, we're supporting all of the partners with developing a city centre vision. So we're speaking with, we've had great kind of response from residents, from businesses about the direction of Peterborough and the kind of vision, and we want this to be a shared vision for the city centre. And we want that to kind of drive this kind of spatial plan for the city, the articulation of the potential here, and thinking about all of its kind of attributes. So the green space, the river, the potential around the station, the connectivity, and kind of making the most of that. So at Reef, we want to be speaking with the market about the intention to jointly produce that plan together over the next 12 months, and to put some substance and articulate what the potential is. And then we've got something to go and engage the market with, and all of the partners are signed up to delivering that.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the political alignment, talked about the vision. Let's talk about delivery. So I spent some time going around the country looking at various different development corporations and what they've done in other parts of the country, what other mayors have done. All my best ideas I've stolen from other people. And I think there are some great examples of where development corporations have worked, particularly in Manchester and Stockport and many other places in the country. So let's talk about that delivery mechanism. I think we want to establish a growth board at first, don't we?
Yeah, and I think the intention, we're moving towards establishing that. So that is building on this kind of political alignment. It's about pooling ideas and pooling kind of resources, with the intention of, moving things forward quite quickly. I mean, I think you have spoken previously about the momentum that is behind Peterborough at the moment, and I think that's right. Building on that momentum and kind of really harnessing it, we've got an opportunity to move forward at pace now.
Yeah.
So that's really kind of quite significant. There is more developer interest and investor interest in Peterborough, and so we kind of need to encourage that and do the right things to put that in place.
So I think we've got some. So in terms of a growth board, moving perhaps towards a development corporation or mayoral development corporation that we want to see. I think that delivery mechanism kind of solves some of the challenges around planning to make sure there's some certainty there, but also around land acquisition as well, and gives us the ability to address some of those challenges and challenges around viability as well. It gives us the opportunity to try and address those three problems, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the land assembly point is quite key. I think we need to think quite sort of coherently and comprehensively about investment and development within the city centre and how that happens. When you talk about some of these sort of sites which have been talked about for a very long time and stalled, and we've got to find mechanisms to kind of overcome some of that. And I think the feedback from residents through some of the engagement we've been doing is that I think they want that to happen as well. We want to sort of chart a really sort of positive course forward for the city centre. I think what we see in our line of work, there's such an importance on taking a long-term view. And creating that political environment to encourage development and investment, so people have confidence in doing it. So if we put this framework in place, I think people will see that actually there is a long-term plan that's deliverable here. And then to the point about values, growing that value base, kind of making, narrowing the viability challenges over time is the best way to do it. And I think you do that by thinking in a very kind of coherent, comprehensive way about the way that the city centre functions and how you direct some of that investment, how you phase it and how you program it over time. So we've got the ability to sort of build that mechanism to do it. And I think once we start to demonstrate delivery, a little bit of delivery goes a long way, and then we will start this kind of program.
Well, the first level of delivery is the station quarter, right?
Yeah.
So this is just about the biggest levelling up award in the entire country. I know this because I used to be the MP, so I was very excited about that. And to see that project complete as mayor is something very special indeed. But also, I mean, look, the government, to their credit, I think they get this, and that's why we've been given £26 million worth of brownfield funding, so we can address some of those viability challenges, making sure difficult sites are brought together, because this is predominantly a brownfield site, obviously in the city centre it is. And so I think that shows that the government are investing in Peterborough, as well as the vision that we've just articulated.
Yeah, I think that's the station quarter, that confidence. I mean, an area that was long overdue for investment, and I think probably fair to say was a handbrake on the city. So actually starting to see the investment go in around that station quarter is really exciting. I think there is some jeopardy in that about not making the most of it.
Mm.
You know, just being an infrastructure project, we've got to plan now for using that as a springboard to really drive kind of investment beyond the station red line and for the rest of the
It's
city.
got to be stage one, right?
Yeah, so what does that investment really kind of mean for the city? And I think it's about kind of using that as the springboard. And you know, to the other side of the city, you've got the university, which is doing so well. Kind of its whole ethos is expanding. So you can start to see how that plays a role. You know, the strong heritage assets that the city has, which, you know, I think could be well could be better known kind of outside of the city, you know, the amazing cathedral. So starting to play to some of those strengths and using some of those kind of raw ingredients that the city has got. I grew up in Yorkshire and Doncaster. I've come down the East Coast main line so many times and kind of stopped at Peterborough, and you know, I think you need a reason to get off and kind of to know what the city's got to offer. So it's about putting those plans in place.
Fantastic. So look, my growth plan, it's unapologetically ambitious, and it's about trebling our economy by 2050. That's an ambition, and we're not going to get anywhere near that ambition unless Peterborough plays its part. That's why I think this is so incredibly exciting. So Peterborough's going to make a big splash at UK Reef, and we've got a panel, haven't we, chaired by yourself, about everything we want to achieve in this great city.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Cambridge and Peterborough have got quite a significant pavilion there and a big presence at UK Reef. So this promises to be a really good session, kind of promoting the work that we've been doing together so far. I'm chairing the panel. On the panel is yourself, somebody from Homes England and from the City Council as well. I think what we really want to showcase at UK Reef is that kind of alignment and that and give confidence. So hopefully to everybody in the room, investors, developers, they're all going to see that actually there's quite a significant amount of work gone in over the last 12 months into developing these propositions, that we've got a clear plan for moving forward over the next 12 months, and that we want to sort of develop that conversation with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think this session at UK Reef is going to show Peterborough at its best. We've got that political alignment, we've got that shared vision, we've got that certainty, and it's a clear message that Cambridge and Peterborough wants to grow. We want to treble our economy, and Peterborough, as a fast-growing city, is central to that vision. So I often tell this story about when I was 18, I left Peterborough. I went to university. Now, unfortunately for most people, I did come back. But so many people don't come back, and that's been a real problem for us. Now we've got this university, there is that higher education offer, in the city, and one of the things that I've been most impressed with is how the university are working with local businesses in order to co-develop some of the courses and some of the STEM activity that they offer at this university.
Yeah, I think there's a strong connection here into the local growth plan and the sectors that are identified in there, and really kind of directing those courses at those kind of sectors, so you are being able to offer the skills, offer the education, and then kind of retain those skills within the city.
Yeah.
But the other component to that, and I think this links back to where the development framework is going, is that we need to build accommodation that can house these sectors and this growth as well. So this is all about how this kind of relates back to the development and investment potential within the city, and really trying to put some definition on that, so we can kind of house some of these kind of skills and show that we can kind of grow the economy in that way.
Well, that's right. I mean, growing the economy has got to work for everybody as well. I often tell this story about growth. It's got to work for people living in Bretton, in Ravensthorpe, in different parts of the city, as well as it has for people who are coming into the city, new people. So growth is not just about extra homes and extra houses, as important as that is, but it's about creating employment and skills opportunities. That's why some of the work going on at the Inspire Education Trust at Peterborough College is so important as well.
Yeah, I think with the way that we're approaching the visioning work is very much kind of sort of a kind of bottom up, top down kind of approach. We want to make sure that the current population as well as the new population of Peterborough, and whether that's residential or workers, employees, people kind of stepping into the new jobs which will be created, that they can get something from the economy as well. And that's about kind of highlighting the experience of the city centre, the culture and the heritage of it, and also kind of encouraging and supporting the nighttime kind of a leisure economy as well.
It's important for everybody.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about the growth plan and how ambitious that is around trebling our economy. We've split the growth plan into 4 opportunity zones, and here in Peterborough it's about the fast-growing city, focusing on our key industries of advanced manufacturing, of agri-tech, and of clean energy, something that we could really take off in terms of clean energy here in Peterborough. And we've had a 14% growth in the size of the city over the last 10 years. So it's all go here.
Yeah. I think for me, it's important to relate this back to kind of where the opportunity and the potential sits for kind of the development. Where does that growth actually kind of sit within the city? In our earlier work, which we talked about earlier, when we looked at the potential of the city centre, significant amounts of land and development that can be unlocked. And actually, when we got into it, quite a lot of that land is owned by public sector bodies. So it underscores the importance for the public sector to work together in harmony to try and bring these sites forward and kind of unlock them so they can do it in this comprehensive way.
And I think that's what the Growth Board, leading on to a mayoral development corporation, is designed to do.
Absolutely, that's what it's focusing on. And when we're developing things like the development framework, other kind of really kind of core pieces of work, that the public sector as a body kind of working in partnership is holding on to those things. So this kind of really speaks to this sort of shared ambition, and everybody's kind of moving and striving for the same things. If somebody's watching this right now, why would you encourage them to invest in Peterborough? Why is Peterborough the next big place to invest in?
Well, Peterborough is now a significant city. It's a big city, well over 200,000 people. Its location is absolutely fantastic. It's on the East Coast Main Line, just 45 minutes from London. It's close to Cambridge. It's a place full of ambition. Its city centre, in terms of potential, is unrealised. We can do so much in the city. It's got a hard-working population. We can do so much in Peterborough. And if we want to contribute to economic growth, if people want to make an investment, Peterborough should be at the very, very top of that list. Well, thanks very much indeed. I really enjoyed that. I think
Thanks
we can
for
do
the conversation.
great work together.
Looking forward to Reef. Thank you.